Hello and welcome to this character workshop is what I'm calling these particular videos. It's not like an exploring session where we read through a play cold. We're going to be playing around, going back and forth over bits of dialogue, specifically looking at different characters and try and get a sense of how we'd perform it and go a bit deeper into the text. Today we are looking at Like Will to Like, a play we looked at a couple of weeks ago, maybe longer. Time is very, very blurry these days. And we're specifically looking at the character of Newfangle, who is a vice character. And the vice is a form of performance, form of character that exists in quite a span of Tudor drama. This play from about 1565, off the top of my head, I've actually forgotten when it was written. 1560s is a little late in its life as a concept, before it gets submerged with just being a clown or being a dark, evil figure in a much more complicated kind of play. So what we're going to do is we're going to work our way through the opening of the play. We're going to skip the prologue for the moment, and we're going to workshop with these wonderful performers and try and get a sense of how the play functions. So, performing the part, I should say, of Newfangle is...
Hi, I'm Steve Longstaffe. I'm a scholar of early modern drama based in Lancaster in the UK.
And for your delectation and delight, playing Satan will be...
Liza Graham, typecast again.
And reading in the part of the Collier, if we get that far, will be...
I'm Greg, and I'm from Berkshire.
So say, I am your host, Robert Crighton. I'm also doing an impression of being a director, and a general guide through this process. So what we're doing is we're starting with the entrance of Newfangle at the beginning of the play. And we're going to go through this relatively slowly to really get a sense of what's going on and what's going on in this opening speech. So the stage direction reads, "Here entereth Nicol Newfangle the vice laughing, and hath a knave of clubs in his hand, which as soon as he speaketh, he offereth unto one of the men or boys standing by." And for this part of the session, we're working on the assumption that I, Liza, and Greg are all boys in the audience, or for that matter, in Liza's case, as perhaps a serving wench at the end of the hall might be a more accurate description of who you will be.
Do we not live in equal opportunity times? What about Greg's opportunity to be a serving wench?
I'll be the wench, that's fine. I did pants my dame last night.
You can target any of us.
Greg, is this your moment to reprise your role from last night?
I'm happy to be, yes.
Okay, so for this this section, Greg will be in the back of the hall, whereas Liza and I will be probably in the front row, being young boys or knaves. Would you like to be a man or a boy, Liza?
I am indifferent, sir.
Excellent. You can be a boy, I'll be a man. There we are. Well, that essential casting having been completed, let's go into the first few lines of Newfangle and see what comes out.
Now, like unto like, it will be none other. Stoop, gentle knave, and take up your brother. What?
Right, it's an excellent point to pause there, because we got so far. So you're doing an action with Knave of Clubs, offereth unto one of the men or boys standing by. Is the stoop, gentle knave, have you dropped it and you're sort of asking him to pick it up? What is actually happening with that line? Do we think? Room? Because obviously take up your brother is, the playing card is supposed to be his opposite.
Like will to like.
Yeah. Is the stoop Is that literally stooping, or is it you're holding it? Is it a game to make the person try and grab it from you? What do we think?
I was thinking as I was saying that, I wasn't thinking about the physical stuff at all.
No.
Thinking
I mean, we don't
the
have
whole
to be
thing
acting
was-
it, but I'm just wondering about where we place that at this stage.
And it's also where does he offer and or throw the card? Does he offer the card and then throw it when no one takes it and then tell people to take it up?
Mm.
I mean, a lot depends, of course, on your reaction from your audience member here.
Mm. Who in this particular instance is perhaps Liza. Let's say Liza is reacting to your offer. So maybe it's you don't want to take it from him. Let's say in this iteration you don't want to take the card. Refuse the card. Let's try it that way. Let's go from the Newfangle's entrance again. Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha! Now, like unto like, it will be none other. Stoop, gentle knave, and take up your brother. Why, is it so? Is it even so indeed? Why then may I say, God send us good speed. Is everyone here so greatly unkind that I am no sooner out of sight, but quite out of mind? Marry, this will make a man even weep for woe, that on such a sudden no man will let me know. If men be so dangerous now at this day, yet women are common worms, I dare well say. How say you, women? You that stand in the angle.
Okay, we'll just pause there. So, Greg, when he says "woman," you that stand in the angle, that's you. Yep. Do a lovely reaction here. It's a good place to pause because that whole little speechette. I mean, I like the idea of mock rejection from Newfangle of being mock upset. Oh, how could you not take my card? That seemed to work, but I'm still not really sure what those few lines are saying. Everyone here so greatly. No, so everyone in the room, no one will take the card from you. So you need to offer it not just to Liza, but to me as well. Am I right in thinking that?
Could do.
Yeah. So we can take that as an extended action. Liza, can you be even more enthusiastically uninterested? Like, wave, no, not for me, not for me.
Yeah.
That I'm no sooner out of sight, but quite out of mind. Not sure what that part of that sentence means.
It feels like there's a routine going on. It's like sort of Bruce Forsyth with his catchphrase or something.
Mm.
He comes on, hey, here comes like unto like.
Mm.
And like unto like is knave and brother. And then it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
that mock rejection comes out.
Mind implies they know him.
Mm.
Robert, do you have the same Word document we all have, or do you have a critical edition with you?
I have both.
Okay. Is the line that on such a sudden no man will let me know, is the word let in your critical edition? I quite like that on such a sudden no man will me know.
That on such a sudden no man will... yes, you're right. That's interesting. No man will him know. So the let me is wrong.
So it's him in your edition?
Yeah, it's will him know. That on such a sudden no man will him know. See, that's why we stop.
That's interesting. I wonder whether him is editorial for the knave, because it to me it made slightly more sense for it to be no man will me know, because he's talking about himself being out of sight and out of mind. But I'm pleased that my Renaissance text spider sense worked that far.
Yeah, that was excellent. On such a sudden, no man will him know. So it's again, he's still talking about the card, isn't he? It's like you could almost have a gameplay there of out of sight, out of mind. I don't know if that's a game that could be practically played.
Could be referring to himself in the third person. This would make a man weep for woe that no one will him know.
Yeah, that works. That makes sense too. So if men be so dangerous now at this day, dangerous, dismissive,
cautious.
They don't want to play his game. So it's that thing, you're trying to G the audience up because they're not reacting enough.
Yeah.
So actually, Liza, I'm wrong. Your reaction should be quite muted.
Okay.
And then our reaction should get more enthusiastically over the top as we go. It's not often that I rehearse an audience, but in the absence of an actual one.
I wish we all could.
Have you never been to a harvester before? Come on. No. So, okay, let's go from the top then. With all that in mind, I don't know if you'll be able to take on that on such a sudden no man will him know. Let's if we can adjust that, then let's try that. And then you need to get the attention of the woman. When and Greg, you need to act abashed or something similar. Entirely how you like. Okay, Newfangle, I think even bolder and bigger because you're trying to get the audience. You're trying to G the audience up. If that's the game, I think then that's that, isn't it? It's a big. I think Bruce Forsyth is not a bad starting point. Yes.
I thought of something quickly.
Yeah.
That perhaps the reason that it's him critically that on such a sudden no man will him know is modifying a man in the line before. So he may still be talking about himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it is himself. I think my card game is in error.
I'm always in error. It's cool.
Yeah. We use error to discover truth. It's fine. Okay, so go Newfangle, get our attention.
Now, like unto like, it will be none other. Stoop, gentle knave, and take up your brother. Why, is it so? Is it even so indeed? Why, then may I say, God send us good speed. And is everyone here so greatly unkind that I am no sooner outside but quite out of mind? Marry, this will make a man even weep for woe, that on such a sudden no man will him know. Sith men be so dangerous now this day, yet women are kind worms, I dare well say. How say you, woman, you that stand in the angle? Were you never acquainted with Newfangle? Then I see Newfangle is quite forgot. Well, you would know me anon. I dare jeopard a groat. Newfangle is my name. Do you not me know? My whole education to you I will show. But first, before I was born, I remember very well that my grandsire and I made a journey into hell, where I was bound prentice before my nativity to Lucifer himself. Such was my agility. all kinds of sciences he taught unto me, that unto the maintenance of pride might best agree. I learned to make gowns with long sleeves, and wings. I learned to make ruffs like carved chitterlings, caps, hats, coats, with all kinds of apparels, and especially, breeches as good as big barrels. Shoes, boots, buskins, with many pretty toys, all kinds of garments for men, women, and boys. Know you me now. I thought that at the last, all acquaintance from Newfangle is not past. Newfangle was and is and ever shall be. And there are but few that are not acquainted with me, for so soon as my apprenticehood was once come out, I went by and by the whole world about.
Okay, we'll just pause there. Yeah, once we get into the open country of the speech, it works. It's much clearer. We've got options for physical business that we can't do here, but there's so much that could be made of the gowns with long sleeves and wings. I like the bird impression. I think we'll keep the bird impression. But also, the opportunity when it comes to breeches, etc. And demonstrating shoes is getting in close to the men, women, and boys is really nice. And it is the fact that you are working the whole room, isn't it? You're working the woman at the back, the boys at the front, the men. Even they get a cheeky wink, or similar, depending on how you want to pitch it, or however the performer would want to pitch it. It is asking for, or giving you room to really improvise around the text in terms of what's going on physically.
It also makes me wonder what Newfangle is wearing himself. Being called Newfangle makes me think he must be dressed in some parody of what the oldsters think the latest fashion is. Your hipster with weird stubble and nebula hair or what have you.
It's the opportunity to find someone in the audience who is wearing the things he is criticizing. It's not necessarily that he is wearing all of these things, but if only because he probably couldn't move if he was wearing all the things that it says he's supposed to be wearing.
Well, he'd be wearing the cheap ass single layer painted cloth version.
Yeah. I wonder if we can go further with mentioning Lucifer. I don't know if it's the pride or whether you want to get out of the audience a response, whether you want them to go woo or boo or something. I almost feel that the line needs to be repeated when you don't get the audience response you want. Because right. I think we need to respond to Lucifer as a crowd.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Lucifer, you can join in that, obviously, until your entrance.
Yes,
so feel free to react.
I am only an innocent bystander and not Satan at all.
No, absolutely. Well, we'll only know who you are because of what you're wearing later on anyway. So
it's true.
Other things to try. It's the fact that he's repeating his name so often just to make it absolutely clear everyone in the audience knows who he is. Play around with every time you say it a different way. I think there's that, or find something special with your name because you're very proud of it. You don't want to wear it out. Let's go for. I think our reactions were helping as well. I felt that was building. So we, as the audience, need to be more reactive to what he's doing, either being bored or excited or terrified or whatever. Let's throw a little bit more. Let us go from Newfangle is my name. Do you not mean no? I think from there.
Newfangle is my name. Do you not me know?
No.
Uh-uh.
No.
Well,
no.
my whole education to you I shall show. For first, before I was born, I remember very well that my grandsire and I made a journey into hell,
Ooh.
where I was bound prentice before my nativity to Lucifer himself. To Lucifer himself. Lucifer! Such was my agility, all kinds of sciences. He taught unto me that unto the maintenances of pride might best agree. I learned to make gowns with long sleeves and wings. I learned to make ruffs, like carved chitterlings, caps, hats, coats, all kinds of apparels, and especially breeches as big as Godfather. Shoes, boots, buskins, with many pretty toys, all kinds of garments for men, women, and boys. Know you me now? I thought that, at the last, all acquaintance from Newfangle is not past. Newfangle was and is and ever shall be, and there are few who are not acquainted with me. For so soon as my apprenticehood was once come out, I went by and by the whole world about.
Ooh, he's behind you.
Sanctity benedicity! Whom have we here? Tom Tumbler! Or else...
No, Satan. It's Lucifer, mate.
A dancing bear?
No, Lucifer.
Body of me, it were best go no near. Yeah! For aught that I say is my godfather Lucifer!
Yeah, we told you it was.
You're useless. Whose prentice I have been. Yes, this many a day. No more words, but Mum, you shall hear what he shall say.
Okay, I'll just pause there before Lucifer gets a word in. I do wonder actually if there is an expectation of the audience to do effectively the "it's behind you" thing, because if they're saying Lucifer or it does. I know it's an internal rhyme within the meter of the thing that's going on, but it did feel like the. Sorry, did you say moment which came out when we did that?
Yeah, you're right. You think it's going to rhyme with here, and it doesn't.
So yeah, that feels like there's an expectation of an audience response to what the Vice is doing in this. I mean, let's be fair. We are massively overplaying everything at the moment, but I don't think it's inappropriate overplaying. And it is bringing something out of it that's really interesting. In many ways, the overplaying is easier in this forum than I think the underplaying sometimes is. That's quite interesting. But yeah. So Lucifer, for the viewers at home, does indeed have a sign. The stage directions does say written on his back and his breast. So it doesn't matter which direction you're looking at Lucifer, you will know who it is. I'd be tempted to do it as number plates.
666.
Yeah. But I also love the Steve. I really like the the hear what he shall say and sort of stepping back a little bit and giving him room. Even though Lucifer actually is not going to do a speech, he's just going to attack you, sort of. Any other thoughts about the bit we've done? Because I think we've got a good outline shape for that. I quite like that.
I do like the idea of him hiding on No More Words But Mum, just like finding somewhere to conceal himself.
Yeah, that's there.
He could throw the cloak if he's wearing a cloak. He could throw it proverbially over his head and sort of.
He could, or he could just go stand in the audience.
Yeah.
Or yes, just trying to do a swift exit. You'll hear what he says.
Half expecting a speech, probably.
Yeah. Well, that's what he's queuing up, and then you don't get it. It's just Lucifer's there to give him a castigation, as it were. Okay, I think we'll move forward, unless anyone's got any additional thoughts to stuff we can layer into that opening. I mean, it is one that really asks for audience response, and I think we're giving an idea. Next time we run this opening, feel free to do a different audience response, but still give an audience response, and make it harder for Stephen, basically. I'm sure he'll give as good as he gets. Okay, let's go from the final line of Newfangled then. No More Words But Mum, and we'll run a little bit of this dialogue, which indeed it is.
And no more words but mum. You shall hear what he shall say.
Boo!
Yes.
Boo!
Yes.
Boo!
He's over
Come
there.
on!
Oh, mine own boy, I am glad thou art here.
Speak is to you, sir. I pray you, come near.
No, he's not talking to me.
Nay, thou art even he of whom I am well apaid.
Speak aloof, for to come nigh, I am afraid.
Why so, my boy? As though thou didst never see me.
Yes, Godfather. But I'm afraid it is now, as oft times it is with thee. For if my dame and thou hast been tumbling by the ears, as oftentimes you do, like a couple of great bears, thou carest not whom thou killest in thy raging mind. Dost thou not remember, since thou didst bruise me behind? This hole in thy fury didst thou disclose, that now may a tent be put in as big as thy nose. This was when my dame called thee bottle-nosed knave, but I am like to carry the mark to my grave.
Oh, my good boy, be not afraid, for no such thing has happened as thou hast said. But come to me, my boy, and bless thee I will, and see that my precepts thou do fulfill.
Don't go! Don't go!
Well, Godfather, if you will say aught to me in this case, speak. For i' faith I mean not to kneel to that ill face.
No, don't. Ooh.
If Our Lady of Walsingham had no fairer nose and visage, by the mass they were fools that would go at her on pilgrimage.
Well, boy, it shall not greatly skill whether thou stand or whether thou kneel. Thou knowest what sciences I have thee taught, which are able to bring the world to naught. For thou knowest that through pride from heaven I was cast, even unto hell. Wherefore see thou make haste. Such pride through new fashions in men hearts to show, that those that use it may have the like overthrow. And from virtue procure men to set their minds aside, and wholly employ it all to sin and pride. Let thy newfangled fashions bear such a sway, that a rascal may be so proud as he that best may.
Tush! Tush! That is already brought to pass. A very skipjack is prouder, I swear by the mass, and seeketh to go more gayer and more brave than doth a lord, though himself be a knave.
I can thee thank that so well thou hast played the part. Such as do so shall soon feel the smart. Sith thou hast thus done, there remaineth behind that thou in another thing show thy right kind.
And we'll just pause there. There's lots of little bits of business in there. I mean, it accidentally wasn't formatted properly. But yeah, it's clearly Newfangle is either hiding in the audience or very close to the audience to immediately point at some poor bugger who's going to be me, I think, is going to be the one who's going to be, not me, don't take me, Lucifer. And there's room again between that of those sort of silent exchanges of me, no, him kind of stuff. We get more clues of costumes. So Newfangle must have a whacking great hole, presumably on his breeches, from where he has been. But also there's a makeup indication as well, presumably that he's got some whacking great mark on his face.
I wonder if Lucifer has a mask of some sort, or, I mean, not to kneel to that ill face, whether it's makeup or whether there's some kind of, or indeed, since Lucifer is written on his back and on his breast, maybe he also has some kind of monstrous mask on the back of his head. Well, Satan was supposed to have 3 heads in Dante, wasn't he?
Well, it could be that it's kneeling to his arse.
Yeah, he might also have a mask on his butt, right? Or some kind of
to that ill face, because it's the idea of you kiss the arse of Satan.
Of Satan, yes. And there's also a suggestion that Satan might want to kiss Newfangle's arse if he puts his nose in the hole in his breeches.
Yeah.
A tent, for those that don't know, was an instrument for the searching of a wound. It was a stick, either metal or wood, that was wound around with cloth, and you would sort of put it into the wound to see how deep it was and if there was any projectiles in it.
So maybe if we were doing this for a modern audience, we might subtly change tent to be something more descriptive of what...
Probe!
A probe! May a probe be put in. So like big as thy nose. Oh, that makes the line even worse, doesn't it? So if they're both basically offering each other their arses...
Yay! Jokes.
That makes the whole thing so much more beautifully comically grotesque. He's going to kneel and kiss my ass. What about my ass? No, what about my ass? Suddenly becoming so much more intellectual.
What's my motivation?
We don't have motivation yet. Just whatever you think will get a laugh.
Cool.
Yeah, so that gives us a whole bit of physical business to play with there. There's still the possibility that you might be trying to indicate, when we talk about the fashions again, you've got that opportunity to pick someone in the audience who's wearing, you've done so well, look at him over there, look at him over there. I don't know how easy the texts explicitly lets you do that, but I think it's there.
Right.
So let's run all that again in mind. So Greg and I will continue trying to be good audience members, dobbing Newfangle in it, and I think we may even throw in some kisses ass, just to see if that helps. And also, if you indicate to anyone about their fashions, we may be, preen or something. We'll try and give you something to play with. So let's go from actually when the devil enters. We'll just go back a little bit earlier than before. So the Sancte Benedicite from there. So we'll do the sort of he's behind you stick and to help get you going. Oh, boo!
He's behind you!
It's Satan!
Oh. Benedicite. Whom have we here?
It's Lucifer!
Lucifer!
Lucifer! It's Lucifer!
Lucifer!
Some dancing bear.
No, Lucifer!
Dancing bear.
Oh.
Yeah! Body of me. We're best go no near. For all that I see, it's my godfather, Lucifer!
Yeah, we know.
You didn't tell me.
Yeah, we did.
Whose apprentice I have been this many a day. But no more words, but Mom, you shall hear what he will say.
Oh, mine own boy, I am glad thou art here.
He speaketh to you, sir. I pray you, come near.
No,
Nay,
not me.
thou art even he of whom I am well apaid.
Then speak aloof, for to come nigh, I'm afraid.
Why so, my boy, as though thou didst never see me?
Hey, Godfather, but I'm afraid it is now as it is oftentimes with thee. For if my dame and thou hast been tumbling by the ears, as oftentimes you do, like a couple of great bears, thou carest not whom thou killest in thy raging mind. Dost thou not remember? Since thou dost bruise me behind this hole in thy fury, thou didst disclose that now may a tent be put in, so big as thy nose.
Yeah.
Oh.
This was when my dame, it's called your bottlenose knave. But I'd like to carry the mark to my grave.
Oh, my good boy, be not afeard, for no such thing has happened as thou hast said. But come to me, my boy, and bless thee I will, and see that my precepts thou do fulfill.
Go
No,
on,
don't,
kiss it,
no.
kiss it, go on, kiss his ass, go on.
Yeah.
Go
Well,
on.
Godfather, if you will say aught to me in this case, speak. For in faith I mean not to kneel to that ill face. If our Lady of Walsingham had no fairer nose and visage by the mass, they were fools that would go to her on pilgrimage.
Well, boy, it shall not so greatly skill whether thou stand or whether thou kneel. Thou knowest what sciences I have thee taught, which are able to bring the world to naught. For thou knowest that through pride from heaven I was cast, even unto hell. Wherefore see thou make haste, such pride, through new fashions in men's hearts to show, that those that use it may have the like overthrow. Yeah, you. From virtue procure men to set their minds aside, and wholly employ it all to sin and pride. Let thy newfangled fashions bear such a sway, that a rascal may be so proud as he that best may.
Boo.
Yeah, I'm coming
When
for
he
your
brought to
entire
pass,
outfit.
but a skipjack is prouder, I swear by the mass, and seeketh to go more gayer and more brave than doth the Lord, though himself be a knave.
I can thee thank that so well thou hast played the part. Such as do so, sir, such as do so shall soon feel the smart. But sith thou hast thus done, there remaineth behind that thou in another thing show thy right kind.
Just pause there before we go into the next section. Yes, that last bit about then doth the Lord though himself be a knave, that does feel like it's an opportunity to pick someone specific in the audience there again, isn't it? That so well have played the part. Again, Lucifer's response is, well done, well done. Pat the poor bugger on the head. I think the kissing the arse thing really works, especially if Newfangle has demonstrated his own arse just before, and the rent in his trousers. I think that works really nicely. I don't know whether we're overdoing it with the audience responses, but I think it's giving us more room for manoeuvre, and it feels like it wants it. So I'm going to keep going with that. I think what is a vice without an audience? That's the sort of the question in my mind. Any additional thoughts about what we've just done? I think that feels like a good first impression. Okay, we've got a little bit more Lucifer Newfangle stuff before the entrance of the Collier. We'll just go over that a couple of times before we go after. Worry about the entrance.
Sith thou hast thus done, there remaineth behind that thou in another thing show thy right kind.
Then, good Godfather, let me hear thy mind.
Thou knowest I am both proud and arrogant. Shut up. And with the proud I will ever be conversant. I cannot abide to see men that are vicious accompany themselves with such as be virtuous. Wherefore my mind is, sit thou thy part can play, that thou adjoin like to like alway.
Oh, I never loved that well, I swear by this day.
What, my boy?
Your mind is, sit I fast 3 meals every Good Friday, that I eat nothing but onions and leeks alway.
Oh.
Nay, my mind is, sith thou thy part canst play, that thou adjoin like to like alway.
Tush, Godfather Devil, for that have thou no care. Thou knowest that like will to like, quoth the devil to the Collier. And thou shalt see, such match I shall make anon, that thou shalt say, I am thy good, sweet godson.
Oh, I will give thee thanks when thou hast so done.
Okay, we'll just pause there before the Collier comes in. So we got this out of the last session that there's a very much a call and response thing that's starting to be set up here. So you're already doing the sort of overdoing like to like alway. And Newfangle, you're just setting up quoth the devil to the Collier as the audience response. So that was exactly right. I loved the shut up. I wonder you could almost take it the other way if I am, You've got lots of play with that. I'm wondering the simperingness of good Godfather, let me hear thy mind, of the immediately going into a sort of minor position there. We can think about status play another day in a different forum, but I like that whole thing about the food as well. It feels very schoolboy, if we're thinking of this as some, school dinners, isn't it?
It's also the results I was thinking.
Yes.
But those two things just automatically made me think.
Ooh,
no.
Breaking wind.
I wonder if like might have been slightly a homophone for leak.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I see.
I read it that he wasn't listening. He was off messing around with the audience somewhere, and kind of completely missed it and was trying to reconstruct it, but could only really remember leak alway.
Yeah, leak alway. And yeah, I feel it does need that sort of gesture, doesn't it?
So Satan could set that up, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well,
in that case,
Satan.
then good Godfather, let me hear thy mind needs to be absolutely on point, and then and Lucifer's doing speechifying, and doesn't hear. I never loved that. Well, I swear by this day. That's got to be a sort of just response of not quite hearing it. It's almost like Lucifer needs to slap him around the back of the head to wake him up.
Yeah.
Perhaps. But yeah, I didn't get that. That I like. Okay, make more of the leaking. Let's try that all again, and we'll respond with. You can do sound effects. Feel free.
Oh.
I feel this is where my particular interpretation is going downhill fast. It really is.
Is there anywhere else to go?
I think subtlety would be wasted. Okay, let's go from Lucifer's same point. Sith thou hast done.
Sith thou hast thus done, there remaineth behind that thou in another thing show thy right kind.
We haven't found it. Then, good Godfather, let me hear thy mind.
Thou knowest I am both proud and arrogant, and with the proud, I will ever be conversant. I cannot abide to see men that are vicious accompany themselves with such as be virtuous. Yeah, you sod off. Wherefore my mind is, sith thou thy part can play, that thou adjoin like to like, alway.
I never loved well this, I swear by this day.
What, my boy?
Your mind is, sith I fast 3 meals every Good Friday, but I eat nothing but onions and leeks alway.
Nay, my mind is, sith thou thy part canst play, that thou adjoin like him, go grab his hand.
Like.
Adjoin like him to like, him over there, just take him over there. Adjoin like to like, alway.
Alway. Oh, tush, good father devil, for that have no care. Thou knowest that like will to like, quoth the devil to the Collier.
To the Collier.
Oh.
The Collier. And thou shalt see that such a match I will make anon, that thou shalt say, I am a good, sweet, God son.
I will give thee thanks when thou hast so done.
I love the way you're trying to teach it to him and he's just not getting it. That's actually, that's an almost better interpretation.
Yes, and it lets you single out 2 audience members and bring them together and make them hold hands.
One of these things is not like the other. It's that trying to really get across the wherefore thy mind, sith thou thy part can play, connect that with Good Friday, and making sure those 2 connect is tricky.
To rock a rhyme that's right on time, it is tricky.
Yeah, because I think possibly rather than doing it slur, maybe it needs to be quite pacey. More like patter than so maybe Newfangle is making a deliberate joke rather than he's not listening.
Yes, maybe.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. What we'll do is we'll just go forward, however. So we've flagged that up as a question mark. Because I don't like to, with this kind of thing, I don't want to, say do it the same time every way. Just trying to find all the options. So we'll move forward, unless there's additional thoughts.
Is there an exit for Lucifer? Oh no, it's just marked that he walketh aside. I guess that's his exit.
No, I don't think he exits. I think he's watching what's going on here. It's like, join like to like. Here is an example of someone who's a bit like you.
Oh, that's right. And then he comes forward to talk to the Collier. Yeah. My bad. Carry on.
Good luck, Collier, by the way, if you've not read ahead.
I've read enough to realise I've got some very interesting sounding words. Yes.
Uwar, or whichever regional dialect you feel most comfortable with. So here entereth the Collier.
Well, Godfather, no more words, but mum, for yonder comes the Collier, as seemeth me. By the mass, he will make a good mate for thee. What? Old acquaintance, small remembrance. Welcome to town with a very vengeance. Now welcome, Tom Collier. Give me thy hand, as very a knave as any in England.
By mass, God a mercy, my vree nickel.
By God and welcome, gentle Tom Lickle.
I'm glad to see thee merry, my vree nickel. And how doth nowadays, good nickel?
And nothing else, even plain nickel.
I pray thee, tell me how doth, good friend Nicol?
It's turned from Nicol to Lickle with Tom Collier. I say no more, Tom. Hold thy nose there.
Nay, hold my tongue. Nay, hold thy tongue, Nicol, till my nose doth come. So thou shalt take part, and I shall take some.
Well, Tom Collier, let these things pass away. Tell me, what market thou hast made of thy coal today?
To every bushel chars, old but 3 peck. Lo, here be the empty zacks on my neck. Chad beguiled all sons that of me had brought, but to beguile me was their whole thought.
But hast thou no conscience in beguiling thy neighbour?
No, marry, so it may gain for my neighbour. It is a common trait nowadays, this is plain, to cut one another's throat for lucre and gain. A small vaunt as the world is now brought to pass.
Well, thou art a good fellow, I swear by the mass. Fit a companion for the devil as may be.
No,
Godfather Devil, this fellow will match with thee.
And good Tom Collier, thou art welcome to me.
God a mercy, good devil, I'm glad of thy company.
Like will to like, I see very well.
Godfather, wilt thou dance a little before thee go home to hell?
I'm content, so that Tom Collier do agree.
I will never refuse, devil, to dance with thee.
Then, Godfather, name what the dance shall be.
Tom Collier of Croydon hath sold his coal.
Oh.
Whoa. Why then, have at it by my father's soul.
Disco Satan.
Yes, we'll just pause there, and we'll just go back and as we unpack that. We've got this word play. We've got that. What old acquaintance? Small remembrance. It's like, hi, and I just see Collier just going. Who me? Almost in the middle of that line. So it's, what old acquaintance? Small remembrance. God. Maybe I may be just adding too much business now or playing around with it. But he's being Newfangle is being very effusive. Does Collier actually know him, or is he just sort of persuaded that he knows him? I genuinely I'm not sure.
He knows he's called Nicol.
And he does do that wonderful playing with his name, but yeah, I'm not sure he does know him that well so far.
So
it does feel like that. Oh, it's so and so. Oh no, wait a minute, it's not.
I knew you at school, kind of thing. But it's weird because he tries to do Tom Lickhole, tries to turn your name into a Lickhole, and then he turns it back on you, so that he's not an idiot. Again, it's a different kind of patter, and I'm not quite sure how that plays. And then they get into a discussion of sharp practice. Let's run that just that very first Lickhole exchange, and let's just try and get more out of that. So go from Godfather, no more words but mum, I think, from after Enter the Collier.
Well, Godfather, no more words but mum, for yonder comes the Collier, beseemeth me. By the mass, he will make a good mate for thee. Old acquaintance, small remembrance? Oh, welcome to town with a very vengeance. Now welcome, Tom Collier. Give me thy hand. Very a knave as any in England.
By my mass and God of mercy, my free Nicol.
By God, and welcome, gentle Tom Lickhole.
I'm glad to see thee merry, my friend Nicol. How dost thou nowadays, good Nicol?
And nothing else, but even plain Nicol.
I pray thee tell me how dost, good friend Nicol.
It's turned from Nicol to Lickhole with Tom Collier. I say no more, Tom. Hold thy nose there.
Yeah, it does feel like it is an acquaintance that that they're just getting into their jives and getting it there. It just needs a little winding up. It's like, oh yeah, of course I know. Yes, of course we know each other. And it's like Newfangled. only Nicole. Is that all you know me as? And of course, only good friends can insult you like that. Throw the same insults straight back at you.
Sorry if that was a little too literal. I just felt that was...
No, I think literal is fine. I think subtlety is wasted. Other thoughts about that just little exchange?
Is he... the nay hold thy tongue, Nicole, to my nose doth come. Sorry, the hold thy nose there. Is he getting too close, or is he... I don't know.
I wondered whether that was a hold thy nose or whether it meant keep your nose there. As in, keep your nose in my butt or whatever.
Yeah.
It is turned from Nicole to lick hole with Tom Collier, grabs head. I say no more, Tom, but hold thy nose there. I mean, it could be that obscene if we wanted to push it that far.
Or you could just point.
Yeah. But it does seem to be that kind of thing of if you're going to turn my name to, lick hole, then go on, lick my hole. Seems to be where it's going.
I have no regrets about spending my Friday night here, you guys.
So do I. I'm loving this.
And then it gives that, nay, hold thy tongue, Nicole, till my nose doth. It's playing around with who's, the suggestion of what may have been occurring during their time in boarding school is entirely a separate
or
issue.
Indeed down the mines.
Yes,
I was going to say it was definitely all boys then.
Yeah, but I'm thinking within the sort of meta world of the performance environment.
So it's just sort of really intimate banter basically, and they're trying to top each other.
Yeah.
And so he kind of Newfangle loses on Lickhole.
Yeah.
And so then there's a bit of physical right there. Okay, hold on. And I was wondering about the leeks and onions business. Presumably that might make you a little bit pungent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so maybe Newfangle smells or is capable of creating smells.
I'm wondering if there is a fart making device, sound device somewhere. That there's a whoopee cushion on standby. It's starting to feel very well. It's starting to feel like Bottom Live at the moment. And
if you ever did it, he'd have to be carrying loads of leaks, I think.
If you do have a fartaphone, you can use it earlier when the devil tells him to kneel for a blessing.
Yeah.
I'll bless you.
It feels like a good investment for the play.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's move forward into the scene. We'll run in from the top of that, but we'll run on to the second half of that Collier Newfangle exchange. Thinking about it as a more physical exchange, obviously you can't do it, but you can sort of play around with gestures and being grabbed and get off and things like that. Feel free to extemporize a little around the dialogue if you wish. Newfangle is the one who's going to break that by saying, let these things pass. So you've got until that moment before the physical action breaks up, as it were. So, really play the fact that you know each other well. You've got a range of banter, as it were, already in place from a longer term relationship. Okay, let's go from Godfather, no more words but mum.
Well, Godfather, no more words but mum. For yonder comes the Collier, as seemeth me. By the mask, he will make a good mate for thee. What old acquaintance, small remembrance! Welcome to town with a very vengeance. Now welcome, Tom Collier, gimme thy hand. As very a knave as is in England.
By a mass, God a mercy, my free Nicole.
By God, and welcome, gentle Tom Lickhole.
I'm glad to see thee merry, my friend Nicole. And how does nowadays, good Nicole?
And nothing else, but even plain Nicole. Ow!
I pray thee, tell me how thou dost, good friend Nicole.
from nickel to little with Tom Collier. I say no more, Tom. Hold thy nose here.
Nay, hold thy tongue, Nichols, till my nose doth come. So thou shalt take part, and I shall take some.
Oh, yeah, well, let these things pass away. Tell me, what market hast thou made of thy coal today?
Every bushel has sold but 3 peck. Lo, it be the empty zacks on my neck. I be one of the Orsons that a me had brought, but to beguile me was their old thought.
Hast no conscience in beguiling thy neighbour.
No, marry. So it may gain for my labour. 'Tis a common trade nowadays, this is plain. To cut one another's throats for lucre and gain. Yeah, a small vaunt as the world is now brought to pass.
Thou art a good fellow, I swear, by the mass. Fit a companion for the devil as may be.
And I'm just going to pause there. That was really nice. The laughing, the back and forth, that really worked. I think then you have to reveal Satan, low Godfather devil, and he's taketh him by the hand. Is that Newfangled taking Collier as a match? Or is it Lucifer taking? The stage direction is quite vague about who he is.
I think it's Collier. I think it's Newfangle taking the Collier's hand and leading him to where the devil is.
Mm.
And the devil extends his hand on his line, and Collier, I think, clasps the hand on his next line, God of mercy.
Mm.
That's how it reads to me, just at first glance.
Well, I'm just wondering, because he says, give me a hand at the beginning, and it's like Collier doesn't. And it's like, I've taken your hand, you are a match moment. And then Satan is revealed, and it's like, moment. Because you don't meet Lucifer every day. But it's not really mentioned.
Well, yeah. I could imagine it being like sort of just meeting somebody in the pub, though. So a typical bloke is all right, okay, right.
Dave, Satan, Dave.
Okay, yeah.
It is both.
Dance? Yeah, sure. Yeah. No worries, mate. No worries.
It's the big train sketch where the Satan and Jesus get in a fight outside a pub. Just leave him; he's not worth it. Okay, let's go from "Thou art a good fellow" then. Play around with how you think that makes sense. I'm not going to impose at this stage.
Thou art a good fellow, I swear, by the mass. Fit a companion for the devil as may be. Lo, Godfather devil, this fellow will match with thee.
And good Tom Collier, thou art welcome to me.
God a mercy, good devil, I'm glad of thy company.
Like will to like, I see very well.
Godfather, wilt thou dance a little before thee go home to hell?
I'm content, so that Tom Collier do agree.
I will never refuse, devil, to dance with thee.
Then, Godfather, name what the dance shall be.
Tom Collier of Croydon hath sold his coal.
Yeah.
That's it, by my father's soul.
Now, I'm going to suggest that we just skip through the song for the moment. The importance, I think, of the song here is that it's setting up the reiterating the Collier and the devil element and like to like Alway, again, building up that audience response thing. But in this particular context, we don't need to be going into it. So let's just run out the end of the scene and see where we go with this. So song finishes and Newfangle has a jolly good laugh.
Marry, this is trim singing. I had not thought the devil to be so cunning. By the mass, Tom Collier is as good as he. I see that like with like will ever agree.
Master farewell, Master Devil, for it must be gone.
Why then, farewell, my gentle friend Tom.
Farewell, Tom Collier. Nay be thy comfort.
Exit Tom Collier. Yes, that exit perfect.
How sayest thou, Godfather? Is this not trim sport?
Thou art mine own boy. My blessing thou shalt have.
If thou might choose, Godfather, that blessing I do not crave. But if you go your way, I will do my diligence as well in your absence as in your presence.
But thou shalt salute me ere I go, doubtless, that in thy doings thou mayst have the better success. Wherefore kneel down, and say after me.
And poor Newfangle does indeed kneel down, but we may hold off on where this is going for a moment.
When the devil will have it so, it must needs so be.
What shall I say, bottleneck Godfather? Canst thou tell?
All hail, O noble prince of hell.
Oh, my dame's cow's tails fell down in the well.
I will exalt thee above the clouds.
I will salt thee and hang thee in the shrouds.
Thou art the enhancer of my renown.
Thou art Hans, the hangman of Colliers Town.
To thee be honor alone.
To thee shall come a hobbling Joan.
Amen.
Amen.
Now farewell, my boy, farewell heartily. Is there never a knave here will keep the devil company?
Ah, right. Now that's an error. That should be Newfangle.
Oh, yeah.
Is there never a knave here? Apologies.
The other line I thought might be his is, when the devil will have it so, it must needs so be, before the blessing.
I've currently got that down as Newfangle. Do you not have that?
I have it as Lucifer, but it makes, I thought it might make sense for it to be Newfangle.
Yeah, that should be Newfangle.
Okay.
Okay.
And I have to say, going with the whole general arse theme here, I'm definitely feeling that sort of makes sense a lot here. That if Newfangle is saying this literally into the protruding buttocks of almost of Satan, there's something about this. This is just grotesquely wrong. I know it probably didn't go that far. And I know
we can only find out whether it works by trying it.
Yeah, it just and also I think if we go with the patter idea that this is a much sharper exchange, all hail, all my dames, etc. The two lines back to back much more onto each other. But I just think if there's a bit of swaying and back and forth, and also it just goes with "Thou art mine own boy, my blessings thou shalt have."
Yeah, I mean, this was usual etiquette when an Elizabethan child met a parent, especially one they hadn't seen for a while. They would ask for blessing, they would receive blessing.
Mm. I just feel at the moment that Lucifer's blessing is probably a fart. That's my feeling again at the moment is because then it's I do not crave that blessing, sir.
Sorry, guys, I've been eating curry.
Yeah.
Really
all those hot coals from down in hell, fire.
It's a barbecue.
So do you want Newfangle to be, did you say you wanted him pattering? Because I was sort of trying to work out that he doesn't know what any of these words mean. He's trying to come up with his own versions of them. But
I think he's cheekier. I think he's just parodying. I think it's deliberate parody. It's just simply a wisecrack.
I also think that he wants to get out of swearing allegiance to the devil.
Yeah.
Like he's the vice. He wants to do his own thing. He doesn't want to be controlled. And Satan is like, no, you shall serve me. And this is like having crossed fingers behind your back while you're promising something.
Yeah. In fact, actually crossing fingers is not a bad little action to add to that as well.
So I'll just imitate the tone
voice Lucifer does it in then.
Yeah, let's try it that way. I
Okay.
think that's.
I'll give it some.
Let's go from the end of the song and just run that end sequence through. So Collier's back on, and let's do his farewell to the Collier, and everyone's had a lovely sing-song.
Marry, this is trim singing. I had not thought the devil to be so cunning. And by the mass, Tom Collier is as good as he. I see, like with like will ever agree.
Farewell, Master Devil, for it must be gone.
Why then, farewell, my gentle friend Tom.
Farewell, Tom Collier, and knave be thy comfort. What sayest thou, Godfather? Is not this trim sport?
Thou art mine own boy. My blessing thou shalt have.
By my truth, Godfather, that blessing I do not crave. But go your way. I will do my diligence as well in your absence as in your presence.
But thou shalt salute me ere I go, doubtless, that in thy doings thou mayest have the better success. Wherefore, kneel down and say after me.
When the devil will have it so it must needs be. What shall I say, bottle-nosed Godfather? Canst thou tell?
All hail, O noble prince of hell.
All my dame's cows' tails fell down in the well.
I will exalt thee above the clouds.
I will salt thee and hang thee in the shroud.
Thou art the enhancer of my renown.
Thou art Hans, the hangman of Collistown.
To thee be honor alone.
To thee shall come Hobbling Joe.
Amen.
Amen.
Now, farewell, my boy, farewell heartily. Is there never a knave here will keep the devil company?
Farewell, Godfather. Thou must go alone. I pray thee come hither again anon. Oh, marry. Here was a benediction of the devil's good grace. Body of me, I was so afraid I was like to be stenched the place. The buttocks made buttons of the new fashion when the horse and devil was making his salutation. Oh, by the mass, I'm so glad as ever was Madge Mare, for the horse and devil is joined with the knave Collier, as fit a match as e'er could be picked out. What sayest thou to it, Joan, with a long snout?
And we'll stop there as he picks somebody out from the audience again. The way he talks about almost fouling his own trousers makes me suggest that possibly we've gone too far, and that suggests that that's a different area of arsery, as it were. But I think it works in a sort of slightly perverse way, even if it's gone too far. I'd like to run the whole thing as a sequence and play around with energy and bear in mind what we played around with already, if that's good for everyone. Any additional thoughts before we do that?
Can I just check, right at the very end there, did we say that Newfangle had the line about never a knave to keep the devil company?
We mentioned it. I don't think we actually made the decision.
Oh, bugger. I trotted right over it. Sorry.
Yeah, because I've got it down as Newfangle in the edition I've got here.
Well, that's probably right then.
Yeah, so we'll give that to Newfangle this time.
I'll mark it.
I'll be bound to forget it this time.
Well, we're bound to forget many things. We're not aiming for perfection. We're just aiming for a different, to get a sense of the overall energy and the pacing of it. Because, of course, doing it bit by bit, we might have a continually too energized, and we might need to change the pacing and play around with it and get a sense of how long it is. I mean, it should only be about 10 minutes, but we'll see how it is.
That last bit, and I'm sorry if this was said earlier, it's also mishearing each other, which I hadn't quite realised on that second time round. Because there's bits where it just sounds a little bit like the last sentence, but misheard.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 Which really was quite funny because I was trying to work out where the Calais came from, and then I realised it doesn't quite, but the town comes from Renown.
Yeah. Well, it's that thing of if we're going with he's either mishearing it, or he's deliberately not saying the oath because he doesn't actually want to go to hell. He just wants to be a very naughty boy. Which I think fits the character of the Vice better.
But he may intentionally be saying something the devil will mishear.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. You're right, Greg. It does echo the sound of the line before.
Any other thoughts? I won't mention the entrances. I won't mention any stage directions apart from the song where, I mean, if you want to sing the song this time when we reach it, feel free to do a terrifying cacophony, but I suspect that might be a terrible idea.
Yeah, we can just say there's a song, or one of us could just read the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah, let's have Newfangle. If you just read the lyrics to the song, I think just do it with pace and verve, and I'll rattle a tambourine or something in the background. What I'll do is I'll just give you the last couple of lines of the prologue as well, just to give you a sense of not interrupting the prologue, but giving a sense of something else did precede you. So I'll just give you the last few lines of that. Thus, as I said, I will be short and brief, because that from his dump you shall relieved be, and the devil with the collier, the thief that seeks the thief, shall soon make you merry, as shortly you shall see. And sith mirth for sadness is a sauce most sweet, then mirth, take mirth then with measure, that best sauceth it.
Hey! Now, like will unto like, it will be none other. Stoop, gentle knave, and take up your brother. Oh, why is it so? Is it so indeed? Why then I may say, God send us good speed. Is everyone here so greatly unkind that I am no sooner out of sight but quite out of mind? This will make a man even weep for woe, that on such a sudden no man will him know, since men be so dangerous now at this day. Yet women are kind worms, I dare well say. How say you, a woman? You that stand in the angle, were you never acquainted with Nicole Newfangle? And I see Nicole Newfangle is quite forgot. You will know me anon, I dare jeopard groat. Nicole Newfangle is my name. Do you not mean no?
No. No.
My whole
Never
education to you I shall show. First, before I was born, I remember very well that my grandsire and I made a journey into hell. I was bound prentice before my nativity to Lucifer himself. To Lucifer himself!
Yes.
To Lucifer himself! Such was my agility. All kinds of sciences he taught unto me, that unto the maintenances of pride might be agreed. I learned to make gowns with long sleeves and wings. I learned to make ruffs like cards, chitterlings. Hats, coats, all kinds of apparels, and especially breeches as big as good barrels. Shoots and boots and buskins, and with many pretty toys, all kinds of garments for men, women, and boys. Know you me now?
Yes.
I thought that at the last. All acquaintance from New-Fangled is not past. New-Fangled was and is and ever shall be. And there are but few that are not acquainted with me. As soon as my prenticehood was once come out, I went by and by the whole world about.
Tickety.
Oh, what have we here?
It's Lucifer! It's Lucifer!
Tumbler!
No, it's Lucifer!
Some dancing bear!
Yeah, no, Lucifer!
Body of me! It were best go no near. For what I say, it's my godfather Lucifer.
Yeah.
Well, why? I mean, why not? Why did you not? Whose prentice I have been this many a day. But no more words, but Mum, you shall hear what he will say.
Oh, mine own boy, I am glad thou art here.
He's not looking at me. No, he's looking at you. It's him. He's over there. His name's New-Fangled.
You're going to the devil, my boy.
No, it's him. Nickel, no, it's him. He's over here. Look, he's down at the bottom left-hand corner.
Nay, thou art even he of whom I am well apaid.
Me? Well, speak aloof, for to come nigh, I am afraid.
Why so, my boy, as though thou didst never see me?
Well, yes, Godfather, I'm afraid it's now as oft times it is with thee. For if my dame and thou hast been tumbling by the ears, as oftentimes you do, like a couple of great bears, thou carest not whom thou killest in thy raging mind. Dost thou not remember, since thou did bruise me behind this hole? In thy fury thou didst disclose that now my attempt be put in behind thy nose. And that was when my dame called thee bottle-nosed knave. I'm like to carry the mark to my grave.
Oh, my good boy, be not afeard, for no such thing hath happened as thou hast said. But come to me, my boy, and bless thee I will, and see that my precepts thou do fulfill.
Well, Godfather, if you will say aught to me in this case, speak. For faith, I mean not to kneel to that ill face.
Go on, Neil. Go on, kiss his arse. Go on.
Our Lady of Walsingham had no fairer nose and visage. By the mass, they were fools that would go on pilgrimage.
Well, boy, it shall not so greatly skill whether thou stand or whether thou kneel. Thou knowest what sciences I have thee taught, which are able to bring the whole world to naught. Mm-hmm. For thou knowest that through pride from heaven I was cast, even unto hell, wherefore see thou make haste. Such pride through new fashions in men's hearts to show, that those that use it may have the like overthrow. From virtue procure men to set their minds aside, and wholly employ it all to sin and pride. Let thy new-fangled fashions bear such a sway, that a rascal may be so proud as he that best may.
Tush, this is already brought to pass. Very skipjack is prouder. I swear by the mass, it seeketh to go more gayer and more brave than doth a lord, though himself be a knave.
I can thee thank that so well thou hast played the part. Such as do so shall soon feel the smart. Sith thou hast thus done, there remaineth behind that thou in another thing show thy right kind.
Then, good Godfather, let me hear thy mind.
Thou knowest I am both proud and arrogant, and with the proud I will ever be conversant. I cannot abide to see men that are vicious accompany themselves with such as be virtuous. Wherefore my mind is, since thou thy part canst play, that thou adjoin like to like alway.
I never loved that well, I swear by this day.
What, my boy?
Your mind is, since I fast 3 meals every Good Friday, that I eat nothing but onions and leek alway.
Nay, my mind is, sith thou thy part canst play, that thou adjoin like that guy over there, him.
Like.
True like him over there. Go on. Alway.
Tush, Godfather Devil, for that have thou no care. Thou knowest that leek will to leek, like will to like, quoth the devil to the Collier. And thou shalt see that such match I shall make anon. Thou shalt say, I am thy good, sweet, God's son.
I will give thee thanks when thou hast so done.
Well, Godfather, no more words, but mum, for yonder comes the Collier, as seemeth me, by the mass. He will make a good mate for thee. Hey! Old acquaintance, small remembrance. Welcome to town with a very vengeance. Now welcome, Tom Collier. Give me thy hand. Very a knave as any in England.
By mass, and God a mercy, my friend Nicole.
God, welcome, gentle Tom Licko.
I'm glad to see thee merry, my friend Nicole. And how dost nowadays, good Nicole?
Nothing else? Even plain Nicole?
I pray thee, tell me how thou toast, good friend Nicole.
Oh. It's turned from Nicole to Licole with Tom Collier. I say no more, Tom. Hold thy nose there.
Oh, nay, hold thy tongue, Nicole, till my nose doth come. So thou shalt take part, and I shall take some.
Well, Tom Collier, let these things pass away. Tell me, what market hast thou made of thy coal today?
3 bushel, has on but 3 peck. Lo, it be the empty zacks on my neck. To beguile the horsens that of me have bought, but to beguile me was their old fault.
But thou hast no conscience in beguiling thy neighbour.
No, marry, so it may gain for my labour. It is a common trade nowadays. This is plain. To cut one another's throats for lucre and gain. A small vaunt as the world is now brought to pass.
Thou art a good fellow, I swear by the mass, as fit a companion for a devil as may be. Lo, Godfather Devil, this fellow will match with thee.
And good Tom Collier, thou art welcome to me.
God a mercy, good devil, I'm glad of thy company.
Like will to like, I see very well.
Godfather, wilt thou dance a little before they go home to hell?
I am content, so that Tom Collier do agree.
I will never refuse devil to dance with thee.
Godfather, name what the dance shall be.
Tom Collier of Croydon hath sold his coal.
Well, have at it by my father's soul. Tom Collier of Croydon hath sold his coals and made his market today. And now he danceth with the devil, for like with two like always. Wherefore let us rejoice and sing, let us be merry and glad, sith that the Collier and the devil this match and dance hath made. Now of this dance we make an end, with mirth and eke with joy. The Collier and the devil will be much like to like. Oh wait, hey! Ha! Merry! It's trim singing. I had not thought the devil to be so cunning. And by the match, Tom Collier is as good as he. I see. Like will with like ever agree.
Farewell, Master Devil, for it must be gone.
Why then farewell, my gentle friend Tom.
Farewell, Tom Collier, and nay be thy comfort. How sayest thou, Godfather? Is not this prim sport?
Thou art mine own boy. My blessing thou shalt have.
Ah, by my truth, Godfather, that blessing I do not crave. If you go your way, I will do my diligence as well in your absence as in your presence.
But thou shalt salute me ere I go, doubtless, that in thy doings thou mayst have the better success. Wherefore kneel down and say after me.
Yes. When the devil will have it so, it must need so be. What shall I say, bottlenose Godfather? Canst thou tell?
All hail, O noble prince of hell.
All my dame's cows' tails fell down in the well.
I will exalt thee above the clouds.
I will salt thee and hang thee in the shroud.
Thou art the enhancer of my renown.
Thou art Hans, the hangman of Callistow.
To thee be honor alone.
To thee shall come our hobbling Joe.
Amen.
Amen.
Now, farewell, my boy. Farewell heartily.
Is there never a knave here will keep the devil company? Ow, you're a bunch of wusses. Farewell, Godfather. Thou must go alone. I pray thee come hither again anon. Oh, marry, here was a benediction of the devil's good grace. Body of me, I was so afraid I was like to be stenched the place. My buttocks made buttons of the new fashion, where the horse and devil was making his salutation. But, by mass, I am so glad as ever was Madge Mare that the horse and devil is joined with the knave Collier, as fit a match as e'er could be picked out. What sayest thou to it, Joan, with the long snout?
I think it's a great idea. Yeah, I'm all in favour of it. I'm all in favour of it. There was lots of little things coming out of that. Swapping that line around makes so much more sense. If will no one go with Satan? It's just someone. Do you? Someone will go with him. How did you feel running that whole sequence through? I mean, it's about 15 minutes, if not more. Actually, it's reasonably chunky bit of a piece.
The energy was there, which was good. It actually, when you run it, you get that energy there, which was much easier to play with.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it felt like I think yes, some of the arse business we were playing around with earlier is too much, but I think the general area of it, as it were, sort of works, and I think that gives us a really good sense of the energy of it all, and that you do need that audience. You need to get the audience on side with Newfangled, don't you? I mean, it does come alive when you have that permission to talk to each other.
I do like that. I like that freedom. I didn't do quite so much of it when we were running, but like it's nice to know that you can.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know that Lucifer does as much anyway.
I think the less Lucifer does, the more effective it is. But like there might be one or two places depending on the feel and the crowd.
Well, it's the feel that Newfangle feels like he's moving around, whereas Lucifer feels like he's just there, and he can do disapproving looks.
Yeah,
and put downs, but I don't think he doesn't feel as active.
No, the more still a powerful character, the more still they are, the more powerful they are.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which is why all the smell jokes will work so well.
Yeah. And we're very much into the closing moments. We've done everything we intended to do. We've got a good sense of this. I mean, I do feel that obviously it'd be nice to do more rehearsal and play around with it, put it before an audience, but that's not going to happen for a long time. But no, I mean, it always felt quite alive as a piece when we read it through for the first time. But I think we would give that, really a really good energy to that. I really enjoyed that very much. Any final thoughts from the group before we say goodbye and close this session?
Just that I enjoyed doing that very much. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, this all goes into the feeding future performance of this, and hopefully, if you've watched this video and you feel like you've got a better sense of what this player is doing and whether it's on the level that you wish to be performing, there are other clown techniques and games and things that suit the voice very much so, which we're not really able to do because we're doing this virtually. There's still more to discover from this play, and I think it is one that you discover more just simply by you've got to do it.
I like the idea of a virtual vice.
Yeah. I also just like the way that Stephen's increasingly illuminated as just a head.
I quite like looming out of the dark. I think that's got something to it.
It will be the mouth eventually.
Yeah.
Cat without a nose.
Yes.
Got the full bracket.
Yeah. I'm at the moment. I'm thinking more Holly from Red Dwarf at the moment.
We were all thinking different. I was thinking Samuel Beckett, so the
full spectrum of culture.
Yes. Anyway, I better close this session down. Thank you very much to all the performers, Stephen, Liza, Greg, and myself. I will thank myself, obviously. Yes, it's been a long week. Thank you very much, and goodbye.